Hey everybody! How you all going? I'm really looking forward to this morning. I love that it's a cozy little group. I've been travelling all over the country the last 10 days and I've had groups of 20 plus and I'm just actually looking forward to a really intimate setting today. We've got one more person due to come and I want to acknowledge you for being here. Actually, a lot of people couldn't make it and they're all waiting eagerly for this recording. So you're going to get your own personalised experience and therefore changes right here in this room around what we're talking about today, which is a sensitive topic for a lot of people. Would you agree? Yeah. So I reckon also sometimes maybe people didn't want to turn up because perhaps they didn't want to admit that they had this challenge in their lives, which I think the majority of us do. So what we might do to start off today, let's just, because we're an intimate group, let's find out who we are, because you guys have been chatting and sort of working out who's a coachie and who isn't a coach. And in this room I've got a couple of my private clients that I've been working for a very long time, so they can sort of introduce themselves, and I'm going to structure this to appeal to business owners as well as anyone in their own personal lives because of the cross-section of people we have here today. So, shall we start? Ali? I only just met Ali today.
Yes, so lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So do you want to tell us a little bit, I guess, who you are and what you're wanting to learn today? That's what's important to me.
Okay, thank you. So my name's Ali Silver, and yes, I am doing furthering some coaching studies. And in the past, I've been doing training and a bit of coaching with that, training in all the people type skills, management, leadership, communication, and really looking to, in the past I've either been an employee or I've been working as a consultant, not so much marketing my own business but working for other people, so now I'm branching out.
Right.
And really what do I want to get from this today? I guess anything that can help me in my own, that can assist me to
Work on
just,
money mindset?
work on money things. And
Well, there'll be 10 steps. You can pick a few out of those. Whichever ones appeal to you.
Maybe. So yeah, just work on that kind of thing.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, today I just thought I'll work in the capacity of a Heartland coordinator, a chapter leader, and when working with a lot of the women that come to the network, you could see that there was a lot of myths and self-worth issues around money. So how much am I really worth? What am I? And I think I have that myself in the sense of, how much do I really charge? And oh my God, is that reasonable or feasible? So I spoke to Natasha, and thank you so much. I said to her, I think there's quite a few people that would need this, concentrating on this area, understanding more about what they're worth. And so we thought of putting this on, so thank you. And helping us out.
Yeah, and I am doing this because Marina kindly asked me last time, and actually it came up at the first author weekend that we were running in October, and I ended up putting in this whole segment in that I didn't even plan, and from that I thought, we talked about that, and I said I've got the stuff ready anyway if you want me to do something. So yeah, I was mostly doing this for her because it's really not relevant to what I do in my business. Certainly it is to some level because I am mentoring my clients around this as well as within the author weekend, but it's not the core. I'm not the money person, and the reasons why I'm here speaking to you as a bit of an expert within this, I no way think I'm done in terms of busting all of my money limiting beliefs, but I think I have come a very long way. So that's why I'm going to share what's really been personal to me and what are my 10 things I've done. Yeah? Cool. Kate, take it away.
Okay.
Cool, so let me tell you a little bit about my background and where I've come from in order for you to see how this shift and growth in me has not been an overnight change. So same as Stuart, both of me and him work for OPSM, and I grew up in Macedonia, that's my first life. And I migrated to Australia at the age of 14. I didn't speak any English, and over there we were in a I would say middle class. I wouldn't say we were totally poor or very, very rich, but there was definitely that you got to save, you know, like I think you were saying, you got to save up all your money, you got to save up for a rainy day. We have that little buffer, all that kind of stuff. My auntie, my second mum, my auntie's my mum's sister, she's disabled, and she raised me while my mum was here. So my mum left me at the age of 11 and a half, while she secured a life for us here in Melbourne. So I was raised by my auntie and my grandma. And she was a banker. She's the one that I've probably got more the personality of, really bossy. And control freak.
It's quietly sitting there.
Because she's disabled, she's always bossed people around to help her out, like without, you know, because she knows, you know, that they will. And I've learned this from her, but very much she and my mum have always taught me about this. You've got to save up, you've got to, you know, make sure you never... The good thing from it that's come from, I never have any credit card debts or any debts aside from our tiny mortgages that we have at the moment. But again, like Sonia's story, I think very much so, it has been very, hold on to this because maybe there won't be any for tomorrow. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Which is, and very average. So I have looked at my money stuff throughout life is that I'll always be at the same level within this same blueprint. Yeah, and we both worked, as we said, in OPSM. I worked for them for 10 years and I was again on that $65,000 wage and couldn't shift past that. And that's where I spent, I've only ever had 3 jobs in my life. I worked in a comic book store for 5 years. That was a cash in hand job. I was doing uni and all that kind of stuff. Then I did OPSM. I was running stores up to $5 million turnover. And then Specsavers, so standard salary for 13 years, and that was pretty much it for me. So after that, you know, that time, actually, this journey really, I think, played a big part in me knowing how to run a business. Okay, because I used to treat those shops like my own. They were like, we used to win Stores of the Year when Stuart started hanging out with me. He won Store of the Year. I was very organised, and he was one of those people, you know, he'd never hand in his forms or reports, and then he started doing everything on time, and I won Store of the Year, then he won Store of the Year, and we were like the golden managers of OPSM and all that sort of stuff. So, but I believe that taught me a lot about customer service, systemisation, working with people, so I think it was a huge, unnecessary step that I had to take. And that is why I believe my business has grown to where it is today, is because of that. I couldn't have done anything else different. So here's my year one, $7,000, wow, far off 65. But my first brand that I developed was PRS Coaching. And I believe when Robert and Kate actually came on board, actually they came under this brand. Yeah, oh, maybe it was just after. So for 13 months, you guys, I was called PRS Coaching. What the hell did that stand for? Have passions, get results, see success. But really, I didn't say to people what problem I was solving. Okay? And I kept doing this and had a mentor at the time. So what I've always done since day one, when I became a coach, and all of you that are coaches in the room, have you heard, coaching gets you from A to B the fastest way possible? Have you heard that? No? I heard that so much. When I signed up as a coach, when I was learning within a training room, they told me, coaching gets you from A to B the fastest way possible. So I said, okay, well, if that's the truth, then I've got to get a coach. So 3 months in from my starting the business, I got my mentor. And this is the first person that got me from 0 to 6 figures. And I worked with him for 2.5 years, which is a long time to have a mentor for. Yeah? And he said to me, Nat, don't be too precious on this, you know. I was this for about 13 months. And when I wrote my first book, The 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss, he said, if you're weight loss, then let's go in there, because you've got to position yourself. If you want to do mindset and coaching, you've got to solve a problem for people. And even though I was not super passionate, those of you that know me, and a lot of you do, you know, I'm not your health freak, you know, to go nuts over nutrition or fitness or whatever. I like to look good, but the weight loss business was a smart business decision. and I was passionate about helping people about mindset. But in order to do that, I had to position myself in a niche where people were willing to spend money to solve their problem. Okay? So I dated retail business coaching because that is what I was, my background. I was in retail for 13 years. And I don't know, most people wouldn't even know this brand. Cutting edge business. For 3 or 4 months, I said, oh, can I do that, you know? And I kept dabbling and changing things. So Mavis said that you've been a bit scattered lately. You know? Yeah. What I learned in that first year from Peter and with what I was doing is that I actually needed to hone in my focus on just one thing and just do that. And nowadays when I focus on whatever I'm focusing in my business, I just do one thing, even though I have 4 or 5 brands. I can't even remember. So the turning point was writing the book. That gave me a lot of credibility. That came out 13 months in. And rebranding to Ultimate Weight Loss, lose the last 10 kilos. Okay, lose the last 10 kilos was the very important tagline there, because it was just really told people exactly what problem I solved. And those mums who had never gotten rid of their post-baby, weight were just like they were my target market. So year 2 was a significant shift, 41,000 again, nowhere near 65, and all of that money from 7 to 41 was already spent. A lot of you who are going through this, you would have invested in coaching courses, marketing masterclasses, my own mentor. We invested in a flop of an internet business. I think we spent 15 grand into, wasn't it, Al?
Yes.
Stuart was in charge of that and followed all the rules and applied for the money back guarantee because we adhered to all the rules and we didn't get it back. So that money, I was still in the red, still there. So again, you can see 2 years in, but I kept pushing. My mum always told me every beginning is hard, okay? And when I believe the change in culture, moving from another country to here, also me being able to fit into the, system and find friends, enabled me to build a lot of resilience around who I was as a person. Resilience in life is so important. If anything you can teach your children is that. That's what we've heard now. My other auntie, my mum's got 3 sisters, so her older sister has got 2 sons, and she's very wealthy and a business owner, and her sons are around my age, a little bit younger, but they're both having a lot of trouble in life because she has completely protected them and looked after them, and she even just pays for everything for them now they're in their 30s. And my mum goes, I'm so lucky. I said, I think what's happened for you, I said to my mum, is because you left me. I was on my own. I had to learn independence. I had to be resilient. I had to move here. I flew here on my own, at the age of 14. I was being looked after by the air hostesses. And then I had to learn a language and be thrown in the deep end. So I said, this is where when I started the business, I thought, this is going to be just like moving into Australia or going through those first. So I gave myself that 2-year time frame, the 2 years to really make a go of it. And once I started getting to that level, which was my part-time income from Specsavers, because I was only working at Specsavers 3 days a week, I was able to quit that job. Okay, because I said I need to replace my income before I quit my job. Because I'm not a big risk taker. Who here is a big risk taker? No.
Have been in the past 2 years.
You have been?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a moderate, I kind of want to see where I'm heading, and I will then, I'm not someone who's going to go, I quit my $100,000 job tomorrow and I'm just going to see where it takes me. So then, as this progressed, and this journey for those of you that are in business, it very much evolves, and it's very much an entrepreneurial journey where you think you're going to start and it ends up being totally different. So we developed the second niche because people kept asking me, how do you develop products, how do you write books, and therefore we developed that particular brand, which was about product development, which is what I work with a lot in terms of my consulting nowadays with clients. In December 2012, I ran out of energy, so how long can you keep going selling your time for money? And how much? There's a cap, isn't there? So I needed to learn how to work smarter, not harder. Okay, I have still got consulting my one-on-one. Because again, I'm not a big risk taker to go, okay, I'm not doing any more one-on-one. I have told Robin, okay, Robin, in about 10 months, that's it. And you know, it might take me a bit longer, but that's okay because I need to feel comfortable when I actually take that leap to go, okay, I'm not coaching anymore one-on-one or consulting, that I know that everything else will be okay. I'm the only breadwinner in our family. So I've got to be careful how things play out. So when that niche happened, when we created a business in a box for coaches who want to niche in weight loss, we generated 150K in that next year. Okay, and Stuart quit his job in that year. And funny thing, I'll tell you something about the universe. He wasn't ready to quit his job. Okay, I had only just started progressing with the licensing. And he was given an ultimatum. He was here at Barbecues Galore in Preston, and they were going to shift him to Chadstone Barbecues Galore. And there was going to be an extra hour driving. He was already away from home 10 hours, and I was juggling the business around his roster because we had 2 little children at home. And he said to me, Dal, he goes, what do I do? He goes, they're shifting all the managers around. And I said, give him an ultimatum. I said, give him an ultimatum and say, you quit, or you stay there. And he goes, what if they say they won't? And I said, well, if they don't, you just have to quit. And we actually had to take the leap. We knew it was coming. It was 3 or 4 months away, but they didn't take it. They said, you quit. So he did. And we always said when I was reaching $3,000 in the business regularly for 12 weeks in a row, that was the time for him to quit. That I would have that consistency that would cover our base. And we looked at our figures. We hadn't looked at them by then when he quit. And we looked at them and we were exactly there.
Wow.
We were exactly there. And you know what happened? In that January, so he quit at Christmas, 22nd of December, and January and February we made double his annual income in sales. So we did say 65 in the January in sales and 65 in the February in sales. So sometimes I believe when you take that leap, and the universe kind of looks after you and going, I'll reward the brave, kind of thing. A couple of times that's
But you
happened.
also tethered your camels.
What's that?
There's a saying, trust in Allah but tether your camels. You also tethered your
Yes.
camels.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
And so I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
There's also a level of responsibility.
Yes.
You took responsibility, but you then threw your head up. But you still had it.
Correct.
You still had
So
a
you
roof
did.
and food.
Things in
I
place
still knew that what things had to be in
You can
place.
still put food on your table and keep a roof over your head. So you're still responsible.
Correct. So this is where my medium risk taking activities. I'm a moderate risk
But it
taker.
also shows what you focus on, you get.
Yes.
So you focus on your goal setting
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and that's what we'll talk about in a minute. Then I said, well, if I can do it once, I can do it twice. So I licensed Ultimate Business Edge, and I developed, there's a lot of coaches who want to coach others in health and wellness, but then there's a whole group of coaches out there that don't want to do that. That particular niche is not applicable to everyone. So I developed a niche for Ultimate Business Edge, create products for profit for those coaches who want to do business coaching product development. And then we've got 30 in the other one, the weight loss, one in the US. I was so proud when we got the one in the US. And about 7 or 8 in this one. And that started bringing in some passive income because they had they've signed up for 12 months. Nowadays it's like unlimited use, so there's no re-signing. They pay one lot for their business in a box and off they go. Yeah. Ninja World came alive. I teamed up with Donna Brown, for those of you that know her, and we wrote Ninja Business Chicks, and this is where I got the idea of the Ultimate 48-Hour Author, because we wrote that book over a weekend. Actually, it only took us 3 hours each, because, we spoke it out. And this is how the authors of the Ultimate 48-Hour Author, we can do it. But this book, you guys, now we're dissolving the brand. I was telling Marina this morning, we're still going to have it.
I was part of all this journey. I was very happy to listen to this.
Yeah.
You right back.
Yeah, right. So we're going to dissolve that. So because there's no point in putting tax returns when the business is not bringing in money. It's going to be like $500 or $1,000 in accounting fees. So we're actually going to keep the brand and the name registered. We just won't have an account, because this book, you guys, made multiple 6 figures into my other businesses because of the credibility that it brought me. Okay? So it was the book that's done so much for Donna and I think it was an amazing idea, and also that brought me to become really, really specific and do the Ultimate 48 Hours a Weekend. So year 4, 500 plus, and as I said, going towards that. I don't know how I'm going to go past 7 figures. This is why we're looking at signing up with this new mentor. And I've had 2 mentors so far. This would be our third. Our second mentor we worked with for 5 months and really cracked, through to that next level, which was midway through last year. And now we're going to work with someone else so we can further keep busting these beliefs. Because how do freaking Bill Gates and all that do what they do? There's obviously a set of strategies or the way they make decisions in order to get to those levels. Yeah? So this is my baby and passion, the Ultimate 48 Hour Author. It's so rewarding. Sonia was at our very first weekend and her book is over on the table there. There you can see it, Sonia? Yeah. Near the back, yeah. What parents repress, children express. That's what she wrote. And I've seen her grow so much in confidence and certainty, and you've really blossomed, Sonia. I don't know how you feel within yourself. Do you think that's created a shift in you?
Yeah, it's actually helped me find my feet.
Yeah.
It's actually helped me shuffle through, like yourself. I've just done so many changes. So many changes from one business name to the other to the other. Doing. But that really concreted it. It was like, okay, I'm going to make something out of this now. And whatever it is, it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it was always around the book, and that could extend in so many avenues. And I chose, and helped me choose an avenue.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I've seen you grow.
She has grown.
Marina saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I thought I grew up so much years ago.
We keep growing, don't we? Yeah. It's amazing. So this is what we do. We're doing the next one Anzac Day. We're doing another one in July and then in October. And we just love them because you know why I feel really great about these? Because these give me 100% of success and results. So everyone, that's why there's so many books on the back table, because everyone that's come along has written this. I've helped about 25 people so far are going through their publishing. So there's not 25 books there, but there will be. And there will be 50 by the end of the year. And I feel great about this because when people invest in it, they do walk away with something tangible at the end of the day. Sometimes we invest in courses, or do you guys know what the percentage rate is of success when someone invests in a course and what they do with it?
It's scary.
It's scary. Take a guess.
5%.
Less.
That carry on with what they pursue. Is that
3. This is why with the licensing, I love it, and I think it's a proven system. Certainly, I've made 6 figures plus with it myself, and certain licensees have, but not all of them have. So a lot of them have put it on the bookshelf, have paid off their fees, and they're doing nothing with it. Also, with the course that we've all been doing, I was diploma number 157. Yeah, I did how many people I've gone through, I think 6,000 or 9,000 people, and when I did the percentage, it was 3% that completed this course. Okay? That is why I don't focus on the licensing as much. If people come to me and they want to do it, I'm happy to help them. Here's your box, here's your training videos, here's your systems, everything. However, I don't feel good about it. I feel good when people invest and get something from it, like the Author Weekend. So this is why my passion is the Author Weekend, because 100% of people who've come to it are authors. Okay? So that's why this is what I do, and I consult with some of my one-on-ones, and so does Stuart. So
I can relate to that because when people come on board with the essential oils,
yes,
see it makes a difference to their health and well-being.
Yep.
They come back and they ask questions and they want to move forward.
But can I ask you with that though, in terms of people who come on board, what's the stick around rate? Because again, I would suspect it would be low.
I actually haven't worked.
You haven't worked it out.
When people go on to what they call the rewards program, is when they do stick around because they're actually gaining points to get free product as well. So
yeah,
you know that they're using them every month then.
Yeah.
So you're working with them to get the best deal.
Yeah.
Look at what they're.
But I do know from certain network marketing companies that that's as low the percentage is, especially those who are building teams. Like you find people who are really, really keen and then they go past that honeymoon period and into a routine and it gets really, and then they stop. Because that's what I found with the licensees. They're like, oh, for 3 months, it's like, yeah, this is the best, da, 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 da. And then the penny drops that you've got to work hard, you've got to work, you've got to put in an effort. You don't get, there's no sitting around, and those schemes that they're not schemes.
It's no magic pill.
There's no magic bullet, you guys. There isn't a magic bullet. It's about working out how can you work smarter, because obviously through the licensing I was able to work smarter and leverage more. It's about how do I work out my leverage, rather than saying you're going to do 3 hours a week and earn 6 figures or something like that. There's no such thing. Maybe there might be after a 5 or 10 year period of hard work. Yeah? Like Kerwin Ray, who we went to the marketing masterclass, said to us, yep, I got rich quick over 10 years. And that's the thing that I also go, I'm only into year 4. I said, I've still got a while. My next goal, my first is to get through year 1, then year 3. And my next goal is year 10 to get through past that. So, yeah, there's not going to be a magic bullet. It's just, are you going to be consistent in taking those steps to get through routine and arrive at mastery? So honeymoon, routine, mastery. Yeah? Robin, you've heard the Terry Hawkins CD?
Oh yeah, but not only
Love it.
that, I'm going to tell you that why am I successful with my bike riding?
Yes.
Because I consistently do it.
Yes.
People that I find they go,
Consistency.
they not believe the change in 8 months. I
Do
go,
something every day.
because I do it, I don't question. I get up and do it. Just like, why are your teeth okay? Because you get up and you clean your
Clean
teeth
them
every
every
morning
day.
and every night.
Correct.
Why is your teeth clean? It's all
My
Take a
favourite
sheep, you're absolutely right.
My favourite saying is consistency is king, okay? That's why I think I've been, if I'm on Facebook regularly. There might be moments where I might, but let's go with the 80-20 rule, okay? It's not about perfection, because if you try to be a perfectionist, you're going to fail. You're just setting yourself up for failure. It's not about all or nothing, okay? Alright, so that's just, I was just going to say our ultimate life is all about, we tend to spend our money on memories nowadays. I've moved past that stage in my 20s where it was on materialistic things, clothes, shoes, all of that kind of stuff. We are just, last year I counted, we were away for 3 months out of the 12. Whether I was in Europe for 5 weeks, we were in Thailand for 2.5, we had a month off over Christmas, and lots of 10 or 12 long weekends. We don't work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unless it's something like this today. But that's what we love doing. And my mum's a big supporter. So my mum is the one that takes care of our kids when we're at the author weekend. And we try to pay her back. We pay her back by now taking her on holidays and paying for her, because she won't take my money. Last year I had a goal for her to quit her day job. And that was when I reached 300K, that I could replace her income, but she wouldn't do it. I said, cut down a couple of days. She thought I was telling her to let go of that money, and I said, I'll give you the money, for those 2 days work, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. But she just won't. She's one of those control freaks. So no
Her
wonder.
independence.
And the last thing I'm going to say before I get stuck into the content is that I grew up with 4 very strong women. Mum, my disabled auntie, my successful auntie, and my grandma, who was very strong. And all of these women looked after themselves. And I had evidence from being a young girl that men can't financially look after women, okay? And I'm still trying to break through that, because I keep collecting evidence in my life that this is true. My dad never paid for alimony. My stepdad quit his job, and then my mum looked after him for the last 4 years of when I was living with them. My father-in-law has promised often things that he would give us and then taken it back, which I don't know how that works, because my mum's always been very integral. She says something, it happens. And then the story about Stuart and I, well, the reason all of this happened, my defining moment, was the day Stuart, we lost the Specsavers business because he made a poor decision. That 4 years ago, it's when he made that poor decision, and I walked into a room where he was crying, and that was the thing, the shift, that, isn't it something that always you hit rock bottom that changes you? And that was the last lot of evidence that I had in terms of, men can't financially look after women. So with this new mentor, I actually want to change that, because I will keep finding that evidence. And I don't want to think that of my husband. Because that is, I believe, so far has been my why in driving me to keep pushing and making sure everything's okay with my family. So think about that. What is your why? Because your why actually comes from the way you were raised.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Having 5 of us to bring
Yeah.
on the farm in the country, you know, it's on my 33.
Mm.
So,
So
I can see that.
sometimes being a strong woman, very independent, yeah. It can be good, but then we need to let go. We need to be, a feminine should be able to let go and be looked after by someone else, isn't it?
See, mine's the opposite of that. Although I have an older sister who was quite successful really quite early, as far as parents, I think I was sometimes almost subliminally, it wasn't always in my face, but I think I was kind of taught by my dad that women can't look after themselves.
Right.
And that you know...
So yours is the complete opposite.
Yeah, so
It's almost as
you
if
don't
they
go out and buy a
can't-
house by yourself, that's done for you, with you, to get, at the
Yeah.
very least together, if not for you. And
Yeah.
there were some of his actions over the years,
Yeah.
when I'd asked him for help, which to me help was actually advice. Like he's in the car industry, give me advice, you know, help me buy a car, not money-wise, just advice from you. He'd actually want to then take over and do it for me. So there was a
Yeah,
struggle,
interesting.
big struggle with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So either way, whichever way you look at it, you need to be able to find that middle ground where yes, you can be a strong woman in control, but sometimes, be able to let go and allow someone to look after you. And for you, it's like about, I need to learn to step up and take control from time to time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had to step down from that the last few years.
Yeah.
Horrendously. It's been a culture shock. Coming from a family of 5 girls, and my father was a businessman, and we're all businesswomen. And we've always had control, and all of a sudden being shaken up to, left my husband and being shaken up to, I'm always controlling. And it's more about that I don't accept. I don't accept anything. So I've had to learn to say, yeah, thank you, I'll take that. Because I've always done everything myself. I've been very, very independent. But not to the point where I'm controlling, but very independent and don't know how to receive.
Yeah.
And the
So
last
I think 80% of us in the room here are the ones that need to let go, and I think Stuart and Ali, are the ones that would need to, step up, and take more control. And we work together with Stuart and I had a relationship. Actually, we've had, I'd say, all 3 mentors, didn't we? Had a relationship coach for about 6 or 7 months that we were working on this kind of stuff with. That's okay to say that, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
If you want
until
something.
you hear this stuff, you don't realise that, what issues you've got or what
Yeah.
baggage you've got, because just hearing all of this,
Yeah.
I met my husband in my 30s, so I'd been independent for a
Yeah.
long time financially, and I wasn't used to, someone looking after me. And even now, he's got a business, and we keep our money separate, and I feel funny sometimes about him paying for things or whatever.
Really? Yeah. Definitely, I say put your money together. Yeah. We did that, even before we got married. We did that, and it's amazing how as a team you just do it all together and you get there faster. So
I was going to say, it is interesting when the dynamics change, because I've been brought up with a lot of money, and money comes to me very easily. I don't know why, but it just
That's
does
great.
draw to me. But and so therefore I was the breadwinner of my family. But since I've been in business for a short while, I didn't have money, and so my husband had to step up. And it's amazing what he's done when he's had to do it.
yes.
So, yes, when you actually let go and allow someone to do it and give them, give that
Give
to
them the space and the
give them the space,
Yeah.
he's done probably the best in his business ever
Yeah.
since I've had to go through a really bad time to do
Yeah.
it. But ever since he's had the opportunity and I've given him the opportunity, he has really, and I just thought of that when I thought of you. I thought, that's true, I can't believe, and sometimes we are our worst enemies because we are wanting to control and gather and do whatever we have to do. But once you let go of a little bit and have faith, it's amazing what the other person can do. And
Exactly.
what the other person
It's about
can do.
having faith.
And then it's about a real partnership rather than one taking it over
Yeah.
than the other.
But I see here, this is like a team, your family's like a team.
Yeah.
Like in any sporting team,
We're
when
team
you've got your
members.
star player, the others can't step up. You have to take your star player off the court,
Exactly.
or off the football field, whatever it is for the
The
others.
others
Yes.
to
So
step
in
up.
actual fact, what we really have to do is to actually consciously step back to allow, don't we? Because you're
Yeah.
never going to build that muscle if they don't have a chance.
Yeah, as this baby nears, we're talking about this from now, going, Dal, I said, I'm going to be having this baby. I don't know how much, I know that I'm going to breastfeed for 12 months, which I find is a big commitment. And being able to go between sessions every 3 hours and go networking, which is what I did with baby number 2. It was exhausting, but I still did it. It doesn't matter, you know, no excuses. It had to be done, I did it. But I also know what's coming as well. And we've said that, you know, I'm going to need help. You know, I do the best I can with what I've got, but I'm going to need help. And you said we are a team. You got to be seeing yourself as a team. And teams are going to have losses and wins and all that. And we've had conversations in the last few weeks where I go, I've been freaking out, to be honest, because I was telling you guys a few things have been happening. And I said, don't you ever freak out? He goes, but if we both freak out at the same time, what good is it to us? You know? And I said, I'm glad. And I wrote you my Facebook message. Where was it? I went to Hobart and I wrote you a Facebook message from the airport to say, I'm so glad that you kind of made me feel that it's going to be okay by holding, you know, down strong, knowing, you know, what it, you know, that it's okay. So that's where that support comes in. You know, when I'm in freak out mode, you know, he kind of like has this strongness that I go, okay, well, he seems like he thinks it's going to be okay, so it should be okay. All right, so this was just to show you a few qualifications. So those are all the brands that we operate under. As we said, that will still be around, but not sort of officially. Engage and Grow is something I've been involved with lately. Not many people know about this. It's a corporate engagement program that is going out into the marketplace that I've been supporting someone in developing and marketing out there. And basically, I'm just a shareholder in that, so not the face of it, but it has potential of going global, and a big percentage of that will end up being a share of mine. But it's a work in progress. It's not a get-rich-quick kind of scheme. It's just something I've been working with someone. So that's that. So why must your money limiting beliefs? I basically have a few things here. Live the life of your dreams. You know, do whatever you have always wanted to do. You know, enjoy and give yourself the things you want. I mean, a lot of us want a lot of different things, but we suppress them because we think it's not possible for us. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, well that's not, I don't really like that because it's not really my thing. Yeah, right. You do, except you don't believe it's possible for you to reach it. Help others to get what they want. Oftentimes we are in this business to help others, or in this life, you know, but first of all, guess what? We've got to help ourselves in order to help others. If I didn't take care of myself, covering my own income and being able to then progress and then help, then I was able to help Stuart, and then as I said, I wanted to help Mum, and through the licensing I wanted to help others. So we start off with this, we start off being dependent, okay? Then we go into independence, we're okay for ourselves, and then we go into the interdependent state, where we're okay and then we're helping others through what we have been able to achieve. You guys have read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Yeah, so Stephen Covey talks about that. So, but you've got to start, if you start your business, you're very much in the dependent stage until you're able to look after yourself fully. Okay, get involved philanthropically. A lot of us want to help people and make a difference in this world. Oftentimes though, some people want to start way too early, and say for example they want to be helping children or teenagers or really people who are disadvantaged, they focus on that niche first, and then they fail because they haven't made enough money to be able to help and look after themselves. Because if you can't help yourself, you've got to go to back to that day job. So to help people philanthropically, you've got to build this is why Bill Gates and all of the wealthy people in the world are so philanthropical, because they have that surplus that they can then now use to look after others. If they couldn't look after themselves, I hardly think they would be helping others. Two things here: rich people are bad or mean or bastards. Or, no? Good.
I always believe that money in the hands of good people do good things.
Always used to.
Yes.
It depends sometimes how they made their money.
Yes.
So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
you know,
what
if
it
they
is.
made it on the stock market, and
It's
I don't know. Sometimes I've looked at that as being a negative thing.
Okay.
If they didn't do it ecologically, and
If
if they did it
ethically-
truly ethically, if they did it by just money or
But let's look at it this way. For those of you who don't know Dr. John DiMartini, he talks about equilibrium and how there's 50% of people are going to like you, 50% are not going to like you. Guess what? 50% of rich people are amazing people, generous, 50% are bastards, and so are poor people.
Yes.
How many people who are of lack or in poverty kill and steal and rob and all that? And then there's those ones that are like, you just want to be with them. They're just so genuine. So there's a balance.
Can't generalise with it.
You
Yes.
can't. And that's where a lot of the money limiting beliefs comes from. Because if people believe that rich people are bad, why would you want to be rich? Then you're identifying yourself with them. Yeah? Look after your family, build your business, then employ others, because then you're helping, and do the things you love and you're good at. Okay? That's why you want to bust through this, because you want to live a better quality life. So what are money limiting beliefs? What do you think they are?
Rich people are dishonest, or
Mhm.
negative thoughts about what rich people are.
Yeah.
That you don't deserve it, or people like me don't
Yeah,
do this or don't get
Yeah.
that. Or
I'm not one of them.
I'm not one of them. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Values people, you know, the outside of the train line, that sort of mentality.
Yes.
So it's our perceptions.
Yeah.
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 And our values.
Yeah.
So it's about
So
sex and what
This is what I've put down. I mean, these answers are all correct. There's no right or wrong, and you guys are on the right track. And this is some of the stuff that I put. It's a money blueprint that you can't seem to break through. So you're always earning that same amount. You always believe that what you've... By the way, if you're writing down the slides, only write down the insides. I'll send you guys the slides. Okay? Because otherwise you're going to not listen to me, and you're going to be writing something. If I say something verbally and it's not there, then write that. Okay? Cool. So yeah, you can't seem to break through, and you always believe you're just worth the same amount, and you're just going to keep earning that same amount of money moving through. And I keep, looking at myself and go, am I moving through this blueprint? And obviously, as you saw through the 4 years, there's certainly been shifts. So I'm glad that I'm breaking through, and these are the 10 things that I'm going to present to you today that I have done over the 4 years. Prior to that, I didn't work on my money limiting beliefs because I didn't think that such a thing existed. Yeah? You don't know what you don't know. Constantly moving away from poverty. This is something that an insight I had with Terry Hawkins when I was in her 3-day training. She goes, you know what, Nat? She goes, 99% of people are moving away from poverty rather than moving toward riches. Okay? So ask yourself daily, am I moving away from poverty? What are the actions that so you're taking a certain action, what is that? Am I moving away from poverty? So let me tell you about this new mentor. $5,500 a month. A month.
You can afford it.
I keep telling myself that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And we'll talk about the language. So we're not asking, can we afford it? How can we afford it? Can we afford not to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where it would take you.
What can you make?
Where it would help you move.
So that's right. So if it was funny. We were talking to him on the phone the other day, and we got to the.
I'm still going.
Well, that's how I want to tell. But that's actually that stuff coming up for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're on the phone, and he goes, let's talk about the investment. And I don't know if the connection was really bad on the phone. We were on the speakerphone with Stuart. And he goes, so the investment is $5,500 a month. And I didn't hear him, honestly I didn't hear him. But maybe it was my son. I said, what? And then he says this again. And I said, what? I asked him to say it 3 times.
And then he had to say.
And he said 5,500, and we finally, I said, okay. But I reckon it was something, again, within our subconscious,
Possibly.
that we didn't want to hear it. Yeah? And then I walked away, and first instinct is, let's freaking away. That's first instinct, you know what I mean? Second instinct, from what I've learned, I go, okay, Nat. So we talked about him, and results will be seen in the first month. There's a lot of, this is high-end strategy. Like, you know, he's working with people, $20 million, all that. So our first mentor, by the way, first mentor was $165 an hour. I had never paid anyone $165 an hour. To me now that sounds like, you know, the cheapest mentor in the world. Do you know what I mean? So we're working weekly, so we're paying $660. And next mentor was $1,000 a month. And now we're doing that. Of course, if you want to grow, your freaking mentor fees are going to grow
as well.
So I'm not surprised that that's where he was at. So, so that's what I asked myself. If I'm saying I can't afford this, or I'm like really averse to this, am I moving away from poverty? I'm holding on to that X amount. I have my buffer. Of course I have my buffer in my bank account. And, or do I want to move away to what and you know what, do I back myself? You guys, you've got to ask yourself, do I back myself? Because with the authors who come to the weekend, that's actually more of an issue. The money is an excuse. Money and time are an excuse. Write that down. Money and time are an excuse. Okay? And I know that now. It's actually something deeper that's the excuse, and that is, are you committed and are you willing to take that leap to back yourself that you know you're going to do the work? Because everyone we've had, when I've hired mentors, I don't like wasting money. I implement what my mentors tell me, and I have. And when I was talking to Mahia the other night, and I said, Mahia, I'm not into wasting money. If you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. And when there's that much skin in the game, I'm freaking going to do it. You know, so he wanted to also make sure we had enough time to implement what he was going to teach us. Like, I'll make the time. It doesn't matter. So, so it's very important to ask yourself, when being faced with a financial decision, is, you know, is it just the easy way out is to say, I can't afford it, this is not for me, you know, it's not the right time right now. It's always money and time excuse. I always then go, okay, stop now. What is the real issue here? Okay, what is the real issue? Okay, if this is where you really, you know, you went as far as calling this guy, speaking to him for an hour, there's obviously some pain there that we want to resolve, because you don't go for help to someone if there was no pain, yeah? It's unfortunate that we move away from pain rather than move towards pleasure, and this is exactly that concept. Constantly moving away from poverty is moving away from pain rather than moving towards pleasure, moving towards riches. Alright, so that's what we've got to shift in our mindset. Okay. Believing what you have to offer is not valued at the asking price, so undervaluing your worth. So this is a money limiting belief. So what is a money limiting belief? Believing that what you've got is not a value. So some of you who are just starting out as coaches, I'm sure you were used to earning an X amount per hour, say in your day jobs. And now so I was earning $25 at Specsavers, okay, which was actually very high for that position in that store. It was like almost $8 more than anyone else. But then my starting price as a coach was $125. So how did I shift? You know, why would people pay me $125? You know, like, where is the value? Like, and I'm going to tell you why and how we changed this through one of the steps, and why I now charge $550. Well, if it's a single hour, I do still packages with people over 3, 6 and 12 months, which are overall cheaper per, say, the time that we spend. However, if someone came up to me and wanted a casual hour with me, that's what I would quote. Okay? So, being limited in your thinking of what is possible for you. I think that is also a limiting belief in terms of, you know, what do you think is possible for you in this life? How far can you take it? And really everything is possible, isn't it? Everything that's important to us is possible. So, you know, our values are the things that are important to us. Your wealth is hidden in your highest value. Write that one down. Your wealth is hidden in your highest value. My highest value is, guess what? Educating myself and others. And that's what I do right now, and that's where my highest wealth is hidden. Stuart's highest wealth is hidden in our family, because that's his highest value. Okay? So think about how you can use your highest value to generate that wealth, especially for those of you who are beginning your businesses. Tall poppy syndrome. If you make lots of money, I will not belong. So it wasn't anymore. So there's a lot of other ways to define a money limiting belief, but I thought I'd bring this one in. Have you, all of you, heard of the tall poppy syndrome? Yeah? So what's that?
It's interesting, that's really popping up for me quite a bit.
Oh my God. It's
Especially
huge.
especially when you
Not
leave.
just in that, and a few other things that I'm noticing, and it's actually really, it's hard to not belong. Because you start...
Fear of not belonging and not being good enough and not being loved are the core three fears that exist. For those of you that are coaches, you know that, you've learned that. And that is the tall poppy. So when I licensed last year and we had those first couple of months, guess what happened in the third month? I self-sabotaged. I stopped doing everything I knew. Okay, self-sabotage is when you stop doing what you know works. Write it down. Self-sabotage is when you stop doing what you know works. So what did I stop doing? I stopped going out networking. I stopped actively doing the things I was doing to generate business, building the relationships. For about 6 weeks last year, March to mid-April, I was in this pit of despair. And why? Because I heard a few gossips here and there, you know, behind my back. And that's all of a sudden, oh, I don't belong. You know, I better, you know, because the tall poppy was, I was starting to really break through, which was that past 150K and all that. And, you know, there was those people who, it wasn't my stuff, it was their stuff. And another thing I've learned is like, am I letting the voices on the outside dictate what's going on? So how can I make my voice on the inside louder than the voices on the outside? That's how I overcome tall poppy syndrome. Make the voice louder on the inside of your head than the voices on the outside. Because there's always going to be backlash. The more successful, we've experienced it again, another wave this year. We've experienced it again. The voices are starting to challenge. You know, they're going to challenge. Oh my God! You know, and then I said to someone who had signed up for an agreement with us, and in the first 2 years, you know, let me ask you this: if someone had signed up for an agreement with us 3, 6, or 12 months. And all of a sudden they had a change of minds 3 months in. Let's say they're on a 12-month agreement. Would you let them off? What would you do? It's an agreement. It's a legally binding agreement.
No, I wouldn't let them off.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
I used to in the first 2 years. I used to.
I'd want to, whether I
It's
definitely
the stuff.
have
It's
a
like
knowing
you don't
from
want them to
my
like
own
you.
experience.
You want them to like you, but are you doing them a favour?
Well,
That's the question.
in the following 2 years though, because this happens, it will happen in your businesses, people are going to pull out because change of mind, because their own fears. It's nothing to do with you. So we had a couple of people like this, and I said, I'm sorry. I said, you've signed an legally binding agreement, you made a decision to do this. And I have given you, and then they go, well, I'll only be using the time or whatever. I said, doesn't matter, you've got my intellectual property. What do you think, that's worth nothing? I said, do you know how many years I've spent working on that intellectual property? Whether you've seen it or you haven't seen it, it doesn't matter. Okay? So I said, I'm sorry, it's not fair on other people if I let you off. And also, it protects our family and business. Agreements are there to protect your business. So please, if you're a new business owner, do this from day one. You know, because you're just going to be disadvantaging yourself. And I said it's not a personal thing. I know with a business or coaching, we're working with people, so absolutely we want them to like us. Yeah? And I said, if you weren't sure that you wanted to stick out a 12-month, I said you should have dipped your toe in for 3 or 6. I said, X person did 6, now they've resigned for another 6. Robert and Kate they're not on any agreements, we've just been working together. They keep getting value, they keep coming back. And that's okay, because back then I didn't have such things, but now I do too, because you've got to get smart. You know, you don't know what's coming if, you know, because if I had clients like Robert and Kate all on the books and tomorrow, you know, 5, 10 of them say, I'm not coming anymore, then what happens? You don't have the security. So yeah, so that's what I'm just saying. Stick to your guns and don't make it personal.
Yeah.
Just deal with it in an adult and a professional manner. And I say I'll make it as easy as possible to you to pay this off. You can't pay it off the way, you know, it's set up.
Yeah.
So I'm certainly flexible in that way. But be mindful, because that is going to happen. Okay, and again, it's about money.
Yeah.
I've seen in business, because of, working in finance, and 9 times out of 10 we're not doing them a favour by letting them off.
Because they need to learn a lesson.
They need to
Correct.
And so this is part of their growth, and so
Correct.
you are not helping them.
That's right.
But you are helping them by saying, okay, what can we do
Yeah.
to
By having some
help you meet your
Of
agreement?
course.
Because at the end of it, you know what? They're going to feel good, and they'll have self-esteem because they've made a commitment, and they'll be able to look you in the
So
eye.
you've got to be integral.
So you're not helping them be
Yeah.
able to look people in the eye.
Yeah. I've got a client, a licensee in Adelaide. She's going to be paying us off for 5 years. She's a very, very, in a way, I mean, I don't want to say anyone is disadvantaged, but this lady is not working. She decided to do this, and then she's not able to make the repayment. So she's making quarter of what she has to. But you know what? She's sticking it out. She's not arguing. She's going, okay, I'm committed to this. I received what I received, and I will stick it out. So if you're going to fold on your agreement, and remember, if you make sure your agreement is legally and you know strong, because our lawyer has advised us, now if someone has signed a 12-month and they want to pull out after 3 or 6 months, no, they have to pay it up. And I said to this a couple of people, I said, if you want me to draw up a letter, the letter is ready, because we are faced with these situations. Let's talk about a bit about the ugly side of what's going to happen. It will happen, okay? And people change, you know, it's like you bought a TV and now you've changed your mind, and 3 months later you want to take it back to JB Hi-Fi. It's not like that. You've received the product and the service, and certainly a lot of it. Okay, so where do our limiting beliefs come from? The pictures should tell you. Yeah, so our upbringing and what we observed around us. I often ask myself, I observe the middle class kind of setting, and I've created that around my family. Will I be able to step through that and go to that next level of what I think? But I believe I'm already doing that, okay? What we were told by those we thought knew better, okay? Our parents, our grandparents, the other kids, okay?
It gives me the shakes.
Doesn't it? Yeah. And the famous sayings, you guys have heard this.
Yeah.
Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's the root of all evil. Rich people are bastards. We can't afford that. That's too expensive. You can't do that. Now, well, my saying in Macedonian was "Parite su te plachka." What does that mean? Money is a killer. Oh my God, that's worse than any of those. That's worse than any of those. And I think I had it on the Macedonian slide at the start.
You did.
My auntie said it to me again last year in September when we went. Because, I'm telling her how much I'm growing, I'm proud of myself, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and all that. And, and I'm open about talking about money, okay? And I'm fine, and they're uncomfortable about that. So, a lot of people are, aren't they? Yeah,
Most
people
of they
are.
say worshipping money. Or that they're saying you're worshipping money.
Yeah. So she said, Natasha, parite su te plachka. I said, that's right, that's where it comes from. I said,
Is that part of our talk, very Australian, that talk poppy thing, like, we don't want to make ourselves out to be doing well because,
But also
Criticize.
challenges everyone around you. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does, especially in Australia.
And they think that you can feel better.
I like seeing some people, I guess since I started coaching, but some people that I'm particularly attached to on Facebook and that I can speak to quite openly, that there's a whole culture that is changing within that. Doesn't mean that it's not still there in other areas and other groups of people, but a group of people that I seem to know, I do see some change, and it's great. It's great to be able to, I suppose, model that as well.
Yeah.
But they're reflecting you.
The
So you're actually changing. You
Yes.
must be changing.
Yeah.
You must be changing, or you may not be seeing that out there.
Yeah.
You know what
see it a lot.
the saying, be the change you want to see in the world? As I changed, I saw Stuart start to change and fall in a way. You know what I mean? Like, also when you start off on your own, no one seems to be on your bandwagon, and everyone's like doubting you. Especially my first 12 to 18 months, everyone thought I was just having a play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
it's true.
Yeah.
But this is where your voice has to be stronger and you believe in yourself.
I had people say, oh yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go. Yeah, give it a try. Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Try.
You've got nothing to lose.
Well,
Give
people
it a
that-
try.
And Stuart always, he never said he didn't believe in me, but he never said anything anyway. But I felt that he was, were you supportive? Did you think I could do it? Okay, because I wouldn't know. Like, other people were saying you could do it. If anyone can, you can that. You know, but I was like in those moments of not making anything for 12 to 18 months. I was like, really? Can I? What, you know? And Mum never said anything, but I saw a big shift in Stuart's dad when I started like saying, oh, I've signed up 5 clients, I've signed up 7, and you know, and then I was like nearly a full list of clients, and he'd say to, and then he'd come to our house and go, oh, you should look at this and that, and he was all of a sudden on the bandwagon giving me advice, marketing, where I should have a look into, where I should possibly speak and all that, and all of a sudden went, the people will join your tribe. So it's about being a leader, isn't it? You take responsibility, you step out, and you know, it's the leaders that have, you know, it's because of that. To run these events, you guys, takes a lot of effort. This is probably my 15th or 20th event this year. You know, and my life has become all about event management, all this travel and all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of time, effort, follow up, all of that sort of stuff to get people in the room. However, what you do benefit. You benefit because you're positioning yourself as a leader, as an expert, and you will pick up business, whether it's today or in 6 months' time. I've built relationships with 120 people over the different towns and cities I went to. Now, that may not have resulted in much business yet, but I know patience. I know how it works. You've got to build relationships. So whether we're encouraged or discouraged to grow and learn the impossible, okay? Because sometimes some parents encourage their children and say, I know you can do it, you know, you've got everything within you to do it, and others say, oh, you know, she's too dumb, or, oh, you know, that's not her, and all that kind of stuff. So I think also that's where that comes from. The people we are surrounded by, we are who we're with, okay? So I often look at who am I networking with, and are they, is there a good cross-section of people that can teach me something and then I can teach something? And who are my best friends? My best friends now are different to who they were 4 years ago. We went away on a Whitsundays cruise, and that was a perfect example of that. The boat was 4 couples, and all of them were business owners, earning, and some more than us, and some a little bit less. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, we were kind of in the middle of who was on that trip. But that's a great reflection. So really, really check out who's around you and who you're hanging out with, because those people that are ahead of you, they're going to teach you heaps more. Since networking, I've been exposed to a new world, therefore I'm learning heaps more and being able to come up with new innovative ideas. That's why I want to hang out with Mahir, because obviously he's seen things that I've never seen before. Yeah? So the meanings we choose to attach to money. So everything is a meaning in life, isn't it? We create the meaning and all of a sudden we create this belief. Okay? So all the meanings. So that saying in Macedonia, you know where that came from? People used to leave Macedonia to work in Germany, and the husband used to leave a wife and the child, and he'd got to work in Germany for maybe a few years or however long, a long time, and that means they wouldn't have a family really. And he'd come back and he'd be really tired and exhausted and just not there. So they would say that the money would kill him and kill the way things were. That's where it came from. So that's what the meaning behind it was placed.
Yeah.
So it depends, yeah. So money is dirty, don't speak about it. If that's what, a lot of people have this, don't they?
Yeah.
This one's huge. If I have money, I'm not a nice person. We spoke about that before. If I have money, people will use me. Yeah? If I have money, I will have to be responsible. And this is a big one. So many people don't want to be responsible. We don't want, because it's too hard. And you know who the successful people are? Are those people who are willing to do what other people find hard. When I was teaching my inner circle how to grow a community and a tribe, it was the same message throughout the whole call. Do what other people find hard to do. Do what other people find hard to do. Do what other people find hard to do. That is what leadership and responsibility is. Yeah, some reserve power. That's why we're having a break soon. Yeah. Anyway. Oops. Maybe a bit of that. Okay.
And how much commission do you get for advertising assets? Sorry, I just couldn't. You just put up a card as a promotion for ASA.
Oh, was it? Oh. Okay. And I have to work hard to make lots of money. This is one of my biggies. This is the one I have to actually also work on. So one is the men can't financially look after women, and one of mine is I have to work hard to make lots of money. Mama worked 3 jobs when I was growing up. She would get up in the morning, and 7 to 3 was her day job as a draftsperson. Then she'd come home and draw crosswords for magazines. Back then, you guys, she used to have these big white cardboard things, and because she was a draftsperson, she used to draw them and fill them in where all the words were. And I think they were taking photos of them and then putting them in the magazine. So that was like a very tedious type of job. And then you know what she did from 7 till 10 p.m? She was a bingo call-out girl. 5 and 3, 53. Actually over there they call it tombola. You might have heard of the saying, yeah? So she'd come home really late and stuff like that. So freaking hell, I watched this growing up, and I wonder, and there is days, how hard do I have to work to make lots of money?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm working through all of the time. Sometimes it's hard now, I'm working smarter, but then all of a sudden I go back to the old pattern, and I still make it hard. Sometimes you keep going back. Yeah?
It's quite a culture you can dig yourself into. And I had a lady at work the other day say to me, this whole conversation about money came up, and it was like, look, you know what, money just does not make you happy. These people that are rich they're not happy. I just thought, I don't want to go to this one. Because I could be so happy if I had money, so I could also make a lot of people happy.
Yes.
It would make me happy to do what I really want to do if I had the money there.
I the same thing
And this was going on in my head, and all I see her behaviour is about jumping from one bargain to the other to the other.
No.
My daughter and I often have conversations about what would we do if we won the lotto.
Yeah.
And we've got a list.
Yes.
We've got a list of people that we would give a whole stack of money to.
Yeah.
And they are not people that are not necessarily relatives and what have you. They're people in our lives that we know are, are finding it difficult, have been through adversity and whatever.
Yes.
And who would be, and we don't, some of them we don't see very often, but who we know would just be really appreciative of it. And it gets me thinking, chances of winning the lottery, chances of getting struck by lightning. But if I am able to generate a decent amount of income, think of the people that I can help,
And that's the key point there. If you guys don't know what you're going to spend your money on, you will never make it.
Yeah.
You've got to know what you're going to spend your money on, otherwise you will never make it.
Oh, I know what I'll spend my money on.
There's a little game that someone said play with their husband, and Stuart and I should start doing this. I'll tell you this one, but they text each other every day. Now and again, it's kind of like a regular thing. I have $3,000 in my pocket. What would you spend it on? And then the partner would tell them what they would spend it on. Another day might be, I have $1 million, I have $200,000, and they play this game between each other by texting each other. And it's a really good one in developing your mindset. So write that one down, I'll just remember that one. But you've got to know what you're going to spend your money on, otherwise it's not going to come in. Obviously Bill Gates and all of those, all the amazingly abundant and rich people have a big vision on where that money's going to go, and what you've just said is very important. And the reason also, you guys, we've done all, and you're probably wondering, when are we going to get into these 10 steps? And we are, you know. But if I didn't give you a big enough reason why you've got to do these 10, you're not going to want to do the how, which is the how is coming in this next segment. People need reasons before they want answers. You've got to build up the why.
Oh, yeah, my why's so huge.
Yeah. So that's why. So we're going to have a break, and we're going to then get into and there's going to be some exercises through these. We may not have all of the time to do the physical exercises, but when I send you the slides, you'll be able to do this in yourself. We'll just see how we go. You know, this is not a rigid structure, as we know. We're a small group, so it's great. So a lot of insights have come just from you. The gold is in the room, it's not just me. Yeah? So let's have a break till 11. And as I said, I reckon we'll go over about 15-20 minutes so that we wrap up the 10 steps. But yeah, this will be the how section now.